You're listening to the Pintcast, where smart people in healthcare come to make noise. Here's your host, Jimmy McKay.
We are live from Graham Sessions, GRAHAMSESSIONS. I am doing that because I'm putting a banner up on the screen, and I can't spell and talk Josh Funk. I can't do both if I'm not saying it. There we go. Live from Graham Session. Bam. Josh Funk, Rehab to Perform. This is Graham Sessions. I call it the Cool Kids Lunch Table Conference for Physical Therapy. 150 invited guests, and the goal, semi-like Vegas, what happens here stays here, but not. It's just who said it.
Fight Club.
It's Fight Club. You can say what was said, but like leave it doesn't matter who said it. Who cares? Let's get the ideas out of the room. Is this your first Graham Sessions?
It's my fourth. I
wow,
think.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
why did you come back? What do you get out of this? What do you walk away with? You don't waste time.
Yeah.
That's what I know about you. As little and as much as I know about you is you're
especially now that I'm a new father. To be honest.
Hey, I didn't know that.
13 months, little guy.
Congratulations.
So, definitely makes you reprioritize.
Name?
Like Atlas Shea Funk.
Of course.
Yeah.
You go anatomical reference.
Yeah, definitely.
Atlas J Funk.
Shea Funk. Shea. Yeah.
Atlas
Funk.
Shea Funk.
Yeah.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
So why do you come back? Like you just said,
it's close to home. This was a no-brainer.
Yeah, but you could be doing anything. Why this?
I think at the end of the day, the ability to leave with my mind thinking in a different way about certain topics as it relates to the profession that I wouldn't normally have been exposed to. That's what I view the Graham Sessions as. Also an opportunity to kind of have no holds barred conversations between people that definitely feel very, very differently on, dare we say, different ends of the PT spectrum.
Academics, business, research, military, practitioners, private practice, single practice owners, multi-practice owners. It's
a great blend.
Cool
Everybody's
bell
in the room.
curve, right?
Yep.
I don't know what they're doing in the room next door. I believe it's a rock paper scissors tournament. I'm not sure how that relates. So we're early. It's still 11 o'clock on the first day. What's excited you? When you looked at the docket, were you like, where's this? Or, ooh, I want to see that. Like, what's piquing your interest or missing?
I like hearing about primary care PT. I think, to be quite honest, we already do a decent amount of it, not directly. We're not branding it that way. We're not communicating
and you shouldn't.
it. And at the end of the day, we have 75 to 80% direct access. People are coming in. We know we need to screen for red flags. We know we need to add certain things in that might be population health related. And at the end of the day, we also have a referral network where people can come in, be screened, assessed by us, and get pushed elsewhere if they need to. So I sit there and wonder again, and I think we were having a conversation about this. Education is costly enough. Do we need more education, or something that I've always felt very, very strongly about? We need to get better at messaging. We need to get better at marketing, communicating to people who we are, what we do, the value, how we solve problems.
Do it more.
100%.
I forget who said, like, if you want to be a better podcaster, you don't need more listeners. You need to podcast more. If you want to be a better writer, you don't need more readers. You need to write more. If you want to figure out whatever it is, do more of that.
Right.
And
these are the same people that will probably post on social media once a week.
Right.
And be like, oh, I
Where's
wonder
the growth?
why don't people know about me? Or like they've done one community event in 3 months. Like,
here's what I see you doing and not talking about. And I love explaining to PTs who are I love you. I'm one of you. And I do it in their terms. I'm like, our frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Those are exercise principles. Those are communication principles. Those are relationship principles. Those play other places. Like you just said, I posted once a week. I did one community event a year. It didn't work. Well, if I did 2 push-ups a quarter and never got stronger, you'd say, of course, that's ridiculous. But those things apply. You don't just talk about doing that. You do that really well. Talk about your approach to communicating what Rehab to Perform does to the audience of 2 different audiences, your community and future clinicians.
yeah.
In my opinion, you are very actively hitting both at the exact same time.
External language and internal language. We talk about that a lot. And I don't think people are as intentional as they need to be about the word clarity. And I think that for us, we even just did another brand refresh. We have a 40-some page brand guide. Like, this is how we communicate things. This is how we don't communicate things. This is who we are.
Words we use. Like, do you have a glossary?
Phrases, words. Yes.
Yes. And you should. It seems ridiculous for me to say, I worked for a practice before. I didn't work for a company. We worked for a practice. Like, even something as simple as that. But if if you're not near me and you're saying company, and I'm saying practice, internally it's confusing, and externally it's definitely confusing. So even saying, is it important what words I use? Yes.
100%. And I think the other thing is ecosystem. You have to look at your messaging from an ecosystem standpoint. If you haven't heard about omni-channel marketing, I mean, I think that would be another thing. How do you use messaging in a variety of different channels? What audience is here? What audience is there? How do you potentially need to streamline things to make sure that you're meeting their language, not
yours.
your language?
Correct.
We're not doing PT speak out at a community running event. Like that's not what people are looking for. If I go and doing this, I'm on a field with a bunch of athletes at a local high school. How am I messaging there? I'm doing stuff digitally in Meta. It's going to be different than Instagram. So those are things that I think that people need to just be more conscious of.
Read the room. Read the room. Where am I? I'm talking to third graders. I changed my language. That's obvious, but it needs to be obvious everywhere. What was the point in growth from Rehab to Perform that you were doing communicate? Like, were you doing when you start, you do everything. And then eventually you're like, oh, I can't do everything.
Right.
I'm going to start doing some of these things poorly. At what point did someone else get to own messaging?
I would say during the pandemic.
But where were you in the growth cycle? How many ballpark clinics?
Four.
4 clinics?
Yep, 4 clinics.
Good that's early good. Yeah, that's huge.
So critical time period, internal communications, external communications, being able to communicate stuff to your team as it relates to how you're handling changing policies and procedures out the politicians are putting out there, and then how do you communicate a same but different message to the consumer? And that's when I became a lot more obsessed with just comms, communications as a whole, and making sure that I was working with Matt, who's our chief marketing officer, on what that would look like moving forward.
What's his background? I looked at it, but I want you to tell everybody, what's his background? Background,
outside of being my college roommate.
I didn't realize that.
He worked at a sports marketing firm called Corrigan Sports Enterprises. They run a lot of more like fitness-oriented events, everything from the Baltimore Running Festival to the Under Armour Lacrosse All-American Weekend. And they've been doing that for, I think at least 20 plus years at this point in time. He interned for them when he was a college athlete with me at Ohio State.
So you can be good at this and do it.
Yes.
But if you're not, or you don't have enough time, you hire someone who's good at it. We understand this. Like, listen, I could maybe put in a switch, but like if I'm going to rewire things, you hire a professional. For some reason, I see so many practices going, I can just do it. And I look at them and I say, you might be able to. What's at stake for you to lose if this goes poorly? And then I'm quiet. Like, what do you mean? I go, well, could you lose money? And they're like, I guess I could. So maybe it's worth investing in, because we understand it when I'm talking about lights. But for some reason, our profession is like, I get it. You're the person who can do everything. I know you can, but where are you on that spectrum? Some people do have this PT background and are skilled and have talents and then develop skills. And some people don't. And when I see those people struggling, I'm like, could it be you're not letting go of this one thing?
I would agree. And I think if I can oversimplify this, most people probably don't know their CAC or their cost per acquisition. If I just understood that by spending, I could acquire more than what I currently have on a greater than a 1-to-1 ratio, then why would I not spend?
Right.
So at the end of the day, I need to understand the mechanics of that spend. Right. Let's say digital marketing. What are the KPIs that I need to look at to maximize return on ad spend such that I can get more customers and more money if I look at my customer lifetime value than what potentially I put in on the front end, which is that money. So once you understand how all that works, it becomes a lot easy to just say, I'm going to keep spending more because I'm getting a disproportionate return to what I'm spending on the front side.
Right. If you can't understand when I put $1 in this machine, if $3 don't pop out, understand why that is, because some people are they just lucky? They just have I don't know how they did it. It was an accident. Probably wasn't an accident, right? So understand when I put $1 in, what comes out the other side. If it's 50 cents, we have a problem. If it's $3, great. How do I optimize and put more in because I'm understanding things? What's something you're looking forward to on the docket?
I think a big thing is honestly just catching up with people that I haven't talked to in a while. It's also nice to see people in person that maybe I've interacted with online. Yeah. You become aware of people through the online spaces, and you don't really get a depth of relationship until you're in person. So those are big ones. Also connecting just with, old friends, whether it's Josh D'Angelo or Simon Hargis, people that are in slightly different areas or slightly different spaces, and always kind of pulling inspiration from them.
Yeah. I just met someone and I said hi to Bob Hall, and he was like, "Hey, good to see you. I've seen him on live streams and talked to him hundreds of times." And then he just leans in and goes, "Is this the first time we've ever met in person?" I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I think it is. You're much taller than I thought you." He's like, "I get that a lot." All right, last thing we do on each episode and each live stream from here, we call it the parting shot.
This is the parting shot. One last mic drop moment. No pressure, just your legacy on the line.
No pressure, just shrug off the pressure. Just what's one idea, concept, quote, anything you'd want to leave with everybody as we wrap up this thing?
I think if we focused solely on decreasing complexity in healthcare and in the PT space, that we wouldn't have to ask for another dollar. It's not to say that we wouldn't, but we wouldn't necessarily have to. I sit here and I look at our staff costs for clinical and non-clinical staff. And if I could continue to find a way to decrease the ratio, right, and make that more favorable, clinical to non-clinical, I look at the way that I could continue to shift total comp towards our clinicians. So if we just found a way for, let's say it's the beginning of the year and we're re-verifying benefits, to not have front desk on the phone with a certain local insurance payer for 2 or 3 hours, think of all that wasted money.
Yeah.
Where if we just decrease the complexity, more of that money could go to the clinicians. And I think we could easily be in a situation where, especially in our area, a 6-figure salary would be the baseline.
Love to see it. Good look into the future. Josh Funk, Rehab to Perform. Appreciate your time. We'll talk again.
That's it for this one, but we're just getting warmed up. Smash follow, send it to a friend, or crank up the next episode. Want to go deeper? Hit us at ptpintcast.com. Or find us on YouTube and socials at PT Pintcast. And legally, none of this was advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. See, Keith, we read the script. Happy now?